Hello students, welcome to the fourth video session of Unit 6. In last session we have gone through the CMS, that is Content Management System. Before that we have seen JNDI lookup and the things that are related with the architecture of JNDI. Okay. Then we have started the Content Management System, under which we have seen its introductory part, then types, benefits, features, how it is much helpful in today's life, and how it is the web service, how its web service can be best with this day-to-day internet life. Okay, and under content management system we have seen example as WordPress. So in WordPress also we have gone through many things, like it's how it is used, which templates, libraries it is providing, how it is helpful to the people who are not having much knowledge of programming, but they can also make their own web page. So many things we have gone through the example of WordPress. And now in this session we are going to see another example of CMS, that is Joomla. But before moving to Joomla, we will see first what WordPress caching is, and the difference between WordPress and HTML. So there are few types of caching as well that we are going to just overview. So in last session we have came until the installation part of WordPress, and we have seen the menus that are provided by WordPress. Okay, so what actually the WordPress caching is? So WordPress caching is the way for improving performance. If the site is getting too many hits, you can enable WordPress caching by installing W3 cache or WP super cache. When a website is requested repeatedly from different clients, reusing the previously generated data or requests such as database queries to speed up new requests is called as WordPress caching. For example, when user visit a website, they require a lot of data from the web host, right? Then they require images, videos, like they can require JavaScript and CSS plus the content from WordPress database, right? So in such case, the WordPress contacts the database to fetch the post and other stored data. So this data is then compiled into HTML by the web server and return it to the user. So as the WordPress creates content dynamically at runtime, it indicates that it requests fresh information of a web page every time a visitor visits a page. So number of times this unnecessary, because the blog post and the pages don't change frequently. Okay. So when caching plugin is used, the static version of content is generated and sent to the visitors, which indicates that when the same user come to the website again, he will see the cached version of our web page, which is much faster. So, talking in general, the caching reuse data of previous requests to speed up the response of any future request. It reduces the amount of data which is required to flow between the browser, the database, and the web server. Okay, so speeding up the flow between browser, database, and web server is web caching or WordPress caching here. So based on the client server model, there are two types of caching protocols, that are client side caching and server side caching. So client side caching is in all the website contain a lot of static data like images, CSS files, and JavaScript files. It is not important which browser we use, or all the browsers are smart enough to understand that once web files are downloaded, they don't need to be downloaded again and again whenever we visit a certain website. So browser simply provides those files from the local cache which are saved on the computer's hard drive, and this mechanism is called as client-side caching. So it is used in every modern website, and every browser also supports it. Then the another type of caching is WordPress caching is server-side caching. Okay. So there are number of protocols that are used under WordPress caching, like the server-side caching includes all the various caching protocols that are used under this WordPress caching category, and they include like page caching is there, database query caching is there, object-based caching is there, opcode caching. So the page caching store the HTML files which are dynamically generated on the hard disk or memory of server and serve them from the cache whenever the request is made. Similar way, the database query caching is related to the database that is being used by the web server. Then, if there is no modification in the database, then executing queries becomes meaningless. So, to avoid this, the result of queries can be saved in local storage, and this is known as database caching. Then, what this object-based caching is? So, WordPress provides its own internal caching system which contains various subsystems like the caching API, object caching, and transient API. So this caching system can be managed with the help of plugin to reduce the number of database calls. And this is also a helpful cache technique that is used under category of server-side caching. And another type we can talk about is opcode caching. It stores the compiled PHP script between every request, and the opcode caching stores the output of the PHP compiler in the cache. So this is about the caching that is used in the WordPress. And typically talking about difference between HTML and WordPress, we can see the points as in WordPress there is no any skill required, like you must not be well expert in coding. Okay, you can do without that also, and whereas HTML requires somewhat coding skill. Okay, rather one should be pro coder to create a highly engaging website using HTML. Plus WordPress, it is easy to use, intuitive drag and drop type of features, and make it absolutely very good and enjoyable thing. So that is not present in HTML. Okay, because several hundred lines of code, bugs and errors make it really messy sometimes, which only a true developer can enjoy, right? So thousands of already created templates are available under WordPress. Okay, and in HTML we have to create all the things by our own. Then some additional plugins can be added to make more powerful WordPress. And in HTML we need to make additional programming skill, other tools, languages like CSS to make it more dynamic and powerful. Yeah. As everything is so easy, it has very poor learning curve, particularly if one wants to learn to code. That means if you want to learn the code by using WordPress, then it is not good idea, because the coding part is very less required in WordPress or while developing website, while using the WordPress. So whereas if you want to learn the coding of web development with the HTML, that will be a better idea. And cost of hosting of the website is relatively high as compared to HTML, and it is fast as compared to HTML as well, but the HTML is relatively slow because it is cheaper to maintain the website, plus everything needs to add to the source code. so it makes little bit slow, but as compared to HTML, WordPress is secure, and its SEO are also better. So all these things are related with WordPress. Now we are moving to the next part of CMS example, that is Joomla. So like WordPress, Joomla is also an open source content management system that is used to build websites and online applications. So the Joomla is open source, that means it is free to use and customize, and it lets you create websites and web applications without having to write code from scratch. It is also working like WordPress, and it connects with a database such as MySQL and PostgreSQL to make the content management system easy, and it also generates some pages and store and retrieve the data. And this Joomla was actually developed as open source matters, and it was created in August 2015. But to use this CMS independently, it was created on a model view controller web application network. And as features, we can see it is very good in managing its features, like the user manager. We can see this manager can be used to handle the user information, and the various operations like edition, access, publishing, creation or deletion are performed by the manager. So before moving to it, we will see little part of Joomla as a historical part. So the Joomla, as told, it is free and extendable, which is separated into front-end templates and back-end templates. That is, back-end templates, that means we are considering here as administrator. Plus, the Joomla is developed using PHP plus object-oriented programming, then software design patterns, and MySQL. So this MySQL that is used in Joomla is used for storing the data. And talking about the historical part of Joomla, it is based on the Mambo CMS, which was developed by an Australian company in 2001, and initially it was released on August 17 in 2005, but the official version of Joomla was released on September 22nd of 2015. So it has gone through all the processing in a longer way, because firstly it was created in 2001, but officially as an open source version it has gone through the identification week in 2015. So the added features as compared with the WordPress, Joomla is having much better views, but we will see as the features, like it is having user manager feature that provides, or it allows managing all the user information like permissions to edit, access, or publish, to create or delete the user, changing the password and language. Okay, it is based on all the managerial content, means the Joomla features are totally focusing on the managerial part. For each and everything, there is one manager who will overlook all the things. For example, the user manager, it will allow the permissions to edit, access, publish, create or delete the content or the user. Second, the content manager, it will allow managing the content using editor, and to create or edit the content in very simple way. Then the third feature we can say is banner manager, and it is used to add or delete or edit the banners on the website. Plus, fourth manager we can see as feature is template manager. It manages the designs that are used on the website, and the templates can be implemented without changing the content structure with a few seconds. Plus, media manager. Media manager is a tool for managing media files and folders in which you can easily upload, organize, and manage your media files into the article editor tool. Then there is another manager, that is contact manager. So this contact manager allows you to add contacts, managing the contact information for any particular user. Then web link manager is also there. This web link manager will link resource that is provided for user, and it can be sorted into the categories. Then there is searching. So what the searching part in Joomla feature will do, it will allow users to search the appropriate information on the site, and you can use smart indexing, advanced search options, then auto suggest searches with the help of this search option. Plus, the menu manager is also there. The menu manager allows to create menus and menu items. So you are allowed to create your own menus when you are developing site with the help of Joomla. Then RSS, it stands for really simple syndication. It helps our site contents and RSS files to be automatically updated. So there will not be any need of updating the files or the things that are related to website. Okay, so it will automatically update. It allows the visitor to subscribe to your website and see if there is new content from the site from any RSS reader. So Joomla has full support for burning feeds for users and integrating feeds to post the same content on the website itself. So these are the added features of Joomla, and if we are going to see about advantages that Joomla is providing to its user, it's the main thing. It is free and open source platform, and this is easy to install and set up as compared to installing something like Drupal. You will have much easier time while installing this Joomla software or Joomla. Then it supports the installation of plugins to extend its feature set. It has great user control options, enabling you to allow or disallow features of the site for users. Since Joomla is very easy to use, as a web designer or developer, you can quickly build sites for your clients. Then, as told, it is very easy to edit the content as it uses WYG editor. Okay, so what this WYG editor is, what you see is what you get. It's a user interface that allows the user to directly manipulate the layout of document without having any layout command. Okay, so you can directly make the layout changes to the document, and you need not to give any command for layout. Okay. So this is the very good feature that is provided in Joomla, and it also ensures that the safety of data content, and does not allow anyone to edit the data. Okay, only specified or certified user will get access to change or add any data to the database or site. Then by default, Joomla is compatible with all the browsers. It need not to worry about the browser's compatibility. By default, it is having all the things with it. Then the templates are very flexible to use. The provided templates under Joomla are very easy for use of building website, and media files can be uploaded easily in the article editor tool. It provides easy menu creation tool. This is having easy options to create any highlights so that you can navigate through the site easily even if it has thousands of pages. Right. So plus updating CMS does not require any special software or digging through code. It has great user control options that enable you to allow or disallow features on the site for users. So these are the things that are called as advantages of Joomla, and you can see how advantageous it is, and you can also go with this Joomla with for building your website. Okay, so WordPress and Joomla are must try things in your engineering, so you should at least try one of these examples that are under category of CMS. So you can try with WordPress or you can try with Joomla as well. And then we are moving to the next part, that is disadvantages of Joomla. So after so many advantages, it is having less disadvantages also as compared to WordPress. The it is getting to grips with Joomla is relatively more complex, because WordPress is what we say is the easiest way today to create your site, because it is also providing so many tools that are user understandable format and very easily maintainable. Plus the compatibility problem while installing several modules or extensions and plugins simultaneously can be arrived while installing this Joomla software, and the plugins and modules are not free in Joomla, while as we have seen in case of WordPress there are a lot of plugins, plus you can add by your own if needed. So that is the feature of WordPress actually. Because of this too many templates permission or plugins permission, it makes little bit slower to load, but then also it becomes a feature of WordPress. Then while in Joomla the plugins and modules are not free. Then development is too difficult to handle when you want to change the layout. Okay, so it becomes more difficult to change the layout as the development is little bit difficult as compared to our WordPress development. Then Joomla is not much search engine optimization friendly, and it makes the website heavy to load and learn. So this makes Joomla a little bit disadvantageous over WordPress, but then also Joomla is better option while you are comparing with other things than WordPress. Okay, so these were the advantages and disadvantages of Joomla. Then while talking about real world examples what Joomla can create, the creating websites or portals comes under this category. Corporate intranets and extranets, online magazines, newspapers and publications, personal or family homepages, government applications, small business websites, non-profit and organizational websites, community-based portals, schools and religious websites, personal or family homepages. So all these things can be made under this Joomla CMS. Then the installation part of Joomla requirement is little bit complex than as compared to WordPress. So we'll see how these steps should be undergone using Joomla software. So system requirements for Joomla 3.x version are given here. So database required is MySQL 5.1 plus in your database. Then web server required are WAMP, that is Windows, then LAMP Linux, XAMPP multi-platform, and MAMP, that is Macintosh. Then NGINX and Microsoft IIS are also required web servers for installing this Joomla. Then the operating system can be any cross-platform system. Browser support, by default it is having support of all the browsers, so any browser can be used. Then secure socket layer is a valid security certificate that is required for HTTPS. Okay, and PHP compatibility is PHP 5.0, sorry 5.4 or PHP 5.3.10. Plus it is given the downloading Joomla link. Okay, from that you can try to download and install the Joomla software. Then in installation, first we will see how to create the store database. Creating this store database, Joomla requires the MySQL database, and so create a new empty database and user password for Joomla. Then after following the above step, you can continue with the installation process. So after that, the installation process will get started. Then we will see the setup wizard. In that we have to undergo with some steps. Like step 1, extract the downloaded Joomla folder and upload it to the web server or local host. Then open your browser and navigate it through Joomla file path, and then you will get the first screen of Joomla installer as shown in the screen. In our case, the path installed is localhost your underscore Joomla underscore folder, and close the link, or you can close that link tag. Then after this setup wizard, we will see form, how this exactly looks like. Here you can see that it is asking for site name, description, admin email, admin username, admin password, confirm and confirm again password. So etc. things are needed while using the Joomla. Then you have to enter the information about MySQL database as seen in the screen below. It is shown. You can see The database type is given here by like MySQL. Then name is given as the local host. The username password is provided, and the database name need to be created. So the things that are needed with asterisk mark, that denotes it is some uh, compulsory things you have to need enter into the form or while installing the Joomla. Then in the first step, what you will do, you will be on the last page of installation process and choose default English, that is GB simple data as an example to build your website, and click on installation button. So you can see this is the last page of installation process, and you will choose the option as default English and sample data as an example to build your website, and click on the install button. After install button, the after few minutes the after installation is a successful, and you will get a screen of Joomla web install, and shown below the another will be admin panel. So after installing Joomla, you are able to log in to your Joomla admin panel as described below, like HTTP localhost, then your Joomla name, close the panel, and you can open the browser and just type the URLs. So then the address is also given in the step 1, that URL as the HTTP localhost your Joomla folder / and administrator / index.php. Then step 2, the username and password must be entered, which you had mentioned during installation as shown in the step 3 of setup wizard section. And then you can say the text prefix is also given here. So after filling all this information, you will get the Joomla page, and you need to back up this database process. Then in the last page, like we have already talked about, you have to choose default English sample data as an example to build your website, and click on install button. So it will get successfully done all the downloaded things, and after clicking on installation, you will start the installation of this Joomla. Then step 5, after few minutes, and after installation is successful, then you will get a screen of Joomla web installer as shown in below figure. For example, the admin panel. After installing the admin panel, you have to worry about, after installing Joomla, you are able to log into your Joomla admin panel as described below, like step 1, you have to access Joomla administrative panel, open the browser and type the URL as HTTP localhost, the Joomla folder, and administrator plus index.php. Then step 2 is enter the username and password which you had mentioned during installation as shown in the figure, and setup wizard is section, and wizard section, and click on the login button. So this was the part about Joomla's installation. So for this session it is enough. In next session we will be continued with Joomla, its architecture, and then we are going to see some control panels that are related to Joomla software. Okay, so till that, just revise all these things, and you can also try the installation of Joomla and WordPress on your PCs, and you are good to go with your own websites. So till that, take care. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you. Bye.